first of all, do you guys understand what aggregation level is? Aggregation. That means on what, let's say if you go and buy something in a shop, let's say you want to buy rice. So what is the aggregation level you say to the the shopkeeper? Do you say
So
or 5 kilo or 5 rupees? What do you say? Kilo, right? So the kg is the aggregation level,
yes,
right? So that is how this aggregation level is. Now discount, sales, or whatever, what aggregation level you want to see. So say these are numbers. So as I said, whatever is the requirement, if it says sum of sales or average of sales, minimum of sales, maximum of sales, here there are a lot of aggregation level over here. Can you see? And aggregation level is only assigned with measures. You cannot do a aggregation level. You cannot say sum of category, right? Can you say? If for example, let's say money, you can count money, right? You can or you can weight some values, but you cannot
yes,
do sum of any person, right? Sum of, let's say, Prakash, or sum of ABC. Cannot. Text cannot be
yes,
combined,
sir.
or it cannot be aggregated at any level. So that's why
Yes,
these values, measures, to do aggregation level, it is used into measures. So if you understand what dimension and measures is, I have explained this, that dimensions are
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
non-aggregated value and measures are
Yes, sir.
aggregated value, right? So
Sir,
these are
just now.
quantitative value. See, if I
Yes, sir.
say this is category, so there are three
Yes,
categories, right? If you see the category, there are three type of categories, correct? Now, if I want to count this, I want to
yes, sir.
find that what are the number of categories available. So what I need to do is I need to create a measure of this category. If you drop this category, drag this and drop it over here, you will see that there will be an aggregation level assigned. Right now, if you see, I'll drop this and then you see the difference. Can you see count has been
Yes, sir.
assigned? If you go to edit this calculation, okay, so and also you can create a calculated field. If I type, let's say any measure value, if I say count of category, count category, and if I click on OK, it will come into measures. Why? Because now
Yes, sir.
there is an aggregation level assigned to it. And also if you drag, simple, if you drag this measures into this value, you will always see a aggregation level assigned over here. Either it be sum,
Yes,
by default is sum in Tableau. So you can always do it average, sum, whatever. Or but if I do the same thing with dimension, you don't see any aggregation level assigned. So that's why your quantitative value should always be in measures, and your qualitative value is like a non-aggregated value is dimension. Okay, converting is a different thing. Let's say if I put this discount over here, by default aggregation level is sum, and we can change it. See, as I said, that you can in Tableau, you can do the same thing in multiple ways. If I want to find a count of this category, okay, I can, how many ways I can do that? So let's say if I say category, I can drop it in my measures and I can convert this to a measure and count will be assigned. This is one way. But in this, what happened is this field has removed from here category, from dimension. But now let's say I want this in dimension also, and also I want to find the count. So what I'll do, I'll keep it in the dimension and then I'll create a calculated field and I'll say over here count of category like this. I'll create a new field basically, which will say that count of category. If I drop it in this one, in this area, these two are the same. These both will give me same value. See, even if I use this category and put it over here, 8153, right? Even if I use this category, it will also give me it will not give me the same value. See, it will give me 3. Can you say why? See, the answer is, as I said, aggregation. This category, it is aggregated at distinct count. And this one is aggregated at count. Count, and you know what is difference between count and distinct count? Count, like see over here, you can, with the help of pivot, you will understand. So when you apply a pivot, right, like this, if you apply a pivot, so what you do, what I did, the count of what order ID, right? What I was showing, no, category. So if you see this category over here, you put it over here. So it says count, right? What count does is category, it will give you the count of all the values, duplicate values also, 8174. Now, if you see, it has 8174 records. Can you see over here count? 8174. Correct?
Yes.
But this, what distinct count does is, it will give you the unique value of that category. So how many unique values are there in category? 3 categories, right? So there are 3 categories only. This is the distinct count. So now if I go to this, and if I change in this one, so now if I say distinct count, it will give me 3 distinct count, right? And then we have to select the database in this order and so on. So that is what over here it is doing. So 3, I have, this is the distinct count, that's why. And if I change it to distinct count, count D, now if I apply, now you'll see the value will be same. So understood this, what distinct count does. Now this can be asked in your interview. So what happens in a database, there will be duplicate values. So they will ask you what you will do to remove the duplicates. Like you want to get only the unique values. So you can say we can show the unique values with the help of distinct count. Okay. Now again, now what happened is over here, I have changed this category. So instead, if you want to create a new field, then you can use create calculated field. Otherwise, you can use normal. You can always change dimension to measures or whatever, and whatever aggregation you want, you can do that. So let's change it to dimension. Okay. So now in dimensions, I have used this text value. This is text value, right? String. So when I use a string over here, you will see that it appears in a different way. You see these options. But if you use a date field is also dimension over here, right? But when you use a date field, you will have different options. So let's see what options we have. Let's first create a view over here. I'll use this subcategory. Put the sales in the column, sort it, and let's add labels. Now, what I want is, I want to use, let's say I want to see data for any specific year. So let's see how a order date is utilized and filtered. Now, when you drag this date field, right now this is discrete or continuous? Can you tell me? Anybody? Is this field is a discrete or a continuous field? And easiest way to identify is, if it is in blue, then this is discrete. I can also change this to green by changing this to continuous. Can you see now it is green? So let's first, I'll show you the difference, how it appears when you apply a discrete field and a continuous field. Now let's first change it to discrete. Now when I drag and drop it on this, you will see this page. Now let's change this. Okay, just one second. I'll take a screenshot for this to show you the difference one next to other. Now this is what the option is you're getting when you're using a discrete. Okay. Now let's change this to a measure continuous, and now apply this on filter. Now let's see how it appears. Now can you see you have the same option. Now drag and drop it into measures in the filter shell, sorry. So you will have these options. And earlier also you have this option, right? But the difference over here is that in this list, can you see these are blue in color and
Yes, sir.
top two are green. Can you see? Now let's say, let's use this to show it. This would not be the right example. Let's use the measures in the filter and make it discrete and continuous, how it changes. Let's say if I put a dimension over here like this, you'll see this option, right? Now if I make it discrete, let's say discrete, where is discrete? Yeah. Now if I use this in the filter shell, you'll find it, you'll have this option, all values. Okay, now they have the same, now you have the bifurcation over here in different ways. So let's keep it as it is. Now this color is green, it's continuous. If it is blue, it's discrete. So we can always change this discrete and continuous over here also. So let's say option, the pop-up will same, the pop-up will be same, right? And now if you see over here, the top two calendars are in green, the below are in blue. So what does discrete is? It will show you individual values, right? Now if you want to see only year filters, okay, now let's cover one by one. Relative date. What is relative date? If you select relative date and click on next, you will get this option. You'll get this page. The continuous field will give you this page. Now in this one, you can also add, let's say, year, quarter, month, week. So let's say I want to see last, and you have these conditions. You can see last 3 years, you'll select last 3. You want to see previous year data, you can see select previous year over here. You want to say quarter, previous quarter, you can select quarter. These are all the values on which you want to bifurcate. Do you want to bifurcate it on days, weeks, months, quarter, or year? Guys, are you understanding, everyone? Now, this is one option. Second is range of dates over here. You can give a range. These are options that Tableau provides. You can select any of these, how you want to show it. Whether you want to give a range from 1st of March, you want to filter this data on what condition. If you have any condition, let's say I want to see data from 31st of Jan to 12th of October, like this. So, 10th of December. If you want to use a range, you can give a range. Let's say you want to use a filter. You want to see a data which starts from this date at least. So now let's say I use this. So I'm giving a starting date only. End date, let it be updated to the recent date. Whatever date is available, I'm not bothered about it. I want the data to be updated after this date only. So I'll select the minimum date here, starting date. And after that, it will include the data, which it will include the sales data after this date only, 23rd of July. Let's say end date. What I'm saying is, whatever date is available, I want to see all values for all dates till this date. Let's say I want to see 15th of July. I want to see the data till 15th of July only. So I can select the end date over here. So these are options, whichever you want, you can use this as per the requirement. Special is, again, you want to see if there may be scenario where you will have null values. So you want to see only the null dates where there is no date, not null, all dates. Depending on the requirement, you will select this option. So I have only covered the first one. So now let's go to the second one, this range of date. These two are same. You select anyone, you will see the same option. See, even if I select range of dates, I get this pop-up. Even if I select over here, the second option, range of dates, then also I'll get the same option. Can you see relative date,
Yes,
range of dates? These two are, so you will land to the same page only. So you can
yes,
select anyone. That is your choice. This one is clear. This
yes,
green pill. Now let's say if I want to say last 13 months. So I'll select this relative date and I'll go to this month and I'll click on last 13 and I'll type over here last 13 and click on apply. I'll get the data for last 13, right? This last is again, what I'm saying is last is again an aggregation level, right? Last 13, maximum 14 months,
yes,
next
aggregation.
14 months or this. So
Yes,
again, this aggregation level is there. So that's why it is in green.
okay, sir.
And if I click now, you see this field, it will be applied as a green filter. So this means this is a continuous filter. Now let's check for the other one. Now if I drag and drop this and put it on the filter now, okay. Now if I select this year, now let's say you want to see in this field, are you able to see individual years? No, right? You cannot see individual years. You will have a range, right? You
Yes,
cannot
sir.
see individual years. Let's say if I want to set 20, I want to see data for only 2020. How will you do that? Do you have any like years? You can say last, previous, but you cannot select 2020, right? Can you select
Yes,
2020 here? What I If I have to select 2020, what I need to do is I need to select first, right? 2020 here, and then I have to give a range of dates. Also here also I have to select from 1st of or 30th, last day. Let's say 31st of December, and this is 2020. But what I want is I want to see only year. I don't want to see the date. I only want to see the year.
sir.
That I cannot get in continuous, right? Over here.
Hmm.
I want to see individual years or individual months. So if if that is the scenario, then you will go to this order date, use this in the filter like this, and select this year. Now when I select this year, now it will give me individual values. How many years are there? If you click on next now, can you see the same page? This discrete, can you see the dimension filter when I applied? I got the
Yes,
same page. General
yes,
condition top. Only
yes,
one
sir.
is wildcard match is not there. So now I have all the years field separately. Now I want to select years like this. Okay. I can select this one. I click on apply. Now this is blue. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is discrete. And mostly what happens is when we use this discrete and or this is again for, let's say, whatever way you use it over here, you can show the filter to the user in the same way. If I've used this discrete field, if I click on show filter, when you click on show filter, that means you are showing the filter. This filter, however the filter is showing over here, the same way user will view it. Let's say if I use this discrete now, let's say if I change it to continuous, can you see it has changed to range of date? Now,
Yes,
if I select this like this, now it will, if I click on show filter, now user will able to see it on this option only. So there are a lot of, now you will say that now in this order, I can see the years, year date,
yes, sir.
year only over here. Can you see? Because first I
Yes,
change it to discrete, then I change it to continuous.
continue.
So these are the way work around how you want to show the filter into disk, like only if you want to see the years, you can use it in discrete, but also you want to show it in continuous. So these are all workaround. You will understand once you start working on it. So as I said, to do the same thing in Tableau, there are multiple ways. If you ask me that, let's say you give me a requirement that I want to see only years, year filter. Okay,
Yes,
year option. So what my approach would be, I'll simply drag this and drop it on the filter like this, and I'll select this year from discrete, and I'll click on next, and I'll click on OK, and I can click on show filter, and like this. This is first approach. Now second requirement, if I have this, okay, and you can see there are multiple ways. This I'll cover later, because if I'll explain it right away, it will confuse you. Because this option, whatever filters you see it over here, the same way user will see it. When you apply this worksheet in dashboard, user will also view it in the same way. So now if somebody says that, okay, I want this filter not in a list format, I want it in a, let's say, slider format. Okay, so I have other ways to do it, or else what I can do, I can simply click on continuous. The moment I click on continuous, this list will change. Now if I click on show filter, it will change to a slider. Can you see? Now list is not there, right? So according to the requirement, my approach changes how I want to use this, whether in a continuous field or a discrete field. Okay, so now let's say if I use this again on this one, now you want to see it on month, day, week number, or weekdays, you can use this as per the requirement. Let's say I want to see month, day, and year. I'll click on month, day, and year like this, and click on next. So these are the formats, in which format you want to see it. Okay, if users say I want to see it in days and month, I want to see only month and year. So you will drag this over here, select month and year, and click on next. You will have only month and year. Can you see? If said I want to see individual dates, what are the individual dates? So if they want to see the list, so you can always select this individual dates. It will have all dates. So if you click on next and you select from this, can you see all the individual dates are here? It will be in the form of list, right? But if you use this in continuous form like this, let's say I make it like this, continuous. So I cannot, in the range also, starting, ending, anyway, I cannot see the individual dates, all dates. I can give a range from start or end date only, but I cannot select multiple dates. Can we do that here? If you want to select multiple dates or multiple year, then simple, keep it very simple. If you want with date only, this is context to date. If you want to select multiple dates or multiple days, multiple dates, multiple month, multiple year, then you use discrete. If you want to give a range, then you will use it continuous. Is it easy? Is this simple? So like understand it like this, or memorize it like this, in this way, that if you want to show a range, like start or end or from last or previous, like this kind of ranges, these are all ranges, right? Then you will use continuous field, then you will use continuous date field. But if you want to give any if you want to select individual dates, multiple options, multiple dates, then you will use discrete option. Okay, to understand, we can say that these all are aggregation level, last year, previous year. But for individual dates, if you know this, if you want to give the dates individually, then that is discrete. So just try. What I will suggest, now when you will start practicing, or in your free time, just use this date field and check every option and see what difference, how it appears. Please practice. Okay.